Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the A24 Archive. This is the series where I'm going through and watching every A24 film from the beginning of their catalog to the end of the catalog. I love this. I've been having so much fun. I'm at a stint right now where I'm watching the films that it's a lot of new ones that I've never seen before. I think like the next maybe 6 or 7 that I'm watching I haven't seen, so it's cool for me. Like, I get to watch a lot of stuff that I've never watched before. Also, I get a lot of crap like the movie I'm going to talk about today. And this film was one that I was actually incredibly excited to watch because this film has an amazing cast. It's just really bad. The film I'm going to be talking about today is Life After Beth. Life After Beth is directed by Jeff Baena. Zach, played by Dane DeHaan, is devastated by the unexpected death of his girlfriend Beth, played by Aubrey Plaza. When she mysteriously returns, he gets a second chance at love. Soon, his whole world turns upside down. This film is directed by Jeff Baena, who is currently, I believe, Aubrey Plaza's husband. I believe, looking back at his filmography, I think he's made 5 movies, and I've seen 4 of them. And what I will say is he is a very inconsistent director who has a lot of really great ideas, but he doesn't seem to know how to execute the ideas very well. My favorite film of his was a movie called Horse Girl with Allison Brie that was streaming on Netflix that I thought was a really great psychological horror movie that also was quite funny. It was really well directed and well shot and well acted, and I thought that it was his best movie. He also directed a film called The Little Hours, which I found insufferable and really not funny at all. And then he also directed a movie called Joshi, which was kind of just like middle of the road for me. Liked elements of it, but it wasn't anything super great. So I had kind of mixed emotions going into this, knowing his filmography and knowing how much I'd seen, and this is right there next to The Little Hours in one of the worst movies that he's made. This film is just grating and annoying. Dialogue is horrible. It's not well written at all. The chemistry between these characters is awful, and what's terrible about it is, like, you have some really amazing actors and actresses in this film. I typically really like Dane DeHaan a lot. He is so obnoxious in this movie. I got to a point, it's like an hour and a half runtime. By about halfway, I'm like, God, can this just fucking end? His character is so obnoxious. Aubrey Plaza plays a really obnoxious and awful human being that I just didn't care about. His parents are played by John C. Reilly, who is like one of my favorite humans alive, and he was okay. Shannon plays the mom. She's like fine. I normally love her. Gray Gubler plays the brother. He does an okay job, but like, you have all these really talented people that show up in this film and they do nothing for the movie. Film opens where Aubrey Plaza's on this hike by herself, and then it just cuts to the credits, and then you see Dane DeHaan picking up napkins for this after funeral service. You find out that Beth had died. She was on a walk by herself and she got bit by a snake. The beginning of the film is just kind of you building the relationship between these characters and kind of understanding, you know, the atmosphere and the environment that Dane DeHaan is in. He starts to get really close to Beth's parents. One day he shows up and they won't open their door to their house anymore, and for like a good 15 to 20 minute segment, it's just him like going and pounding on the door and screaming, letting him in, and they won't, until one day he finally breaks in and Beth is in the house and she's alive. And then the conversation goes back and forth about why is she alive, why is she alive, why is she alive. And it's like the first 25 minutes of this movie after the funeral segment is the same thing over and over and over again, to where you're like, okay, you're padding this out because you don't have anything else to say. It's just like, oh, I'm shocked that this person's alive, where it could have been condensed into one scene. It doesn't really add anything into the movie. John C. Reilly's character wants Dane DeHaan to be around, but at the same time, he doesn't want her to know that she died. She's not acting normal. She's really strange. And the movie is just kind of her slow decline into insanity once she starts to figure out what's going on. But they're such miserable people, you don't care. There's nothing really redeeming about Aubrey Plaza's character. She's this really just kind of mean-spirited, awful person. Dane DeHaan is also just really obnoxious. His character, there's nothing making you root for these people. You don't really care about them. And I've said before, I'm all for a movie that can paint like a villain as your lead character or as an unlikable person as your lead, but you have to give them something to attach to. And other than, oh, his girlfriend died and he's sad, he's really annoying. And then there's a period in time where Anna Kendrick shows up and he goes to a restaurant with her and things are getting worse with Aubrey Plaza's character, and he immediately becomes enamored with her and forgets about Aubrey Plaza's stuff. They're just kind of giving off that he's this kind of a slime ball, and I don't know. The dialogue isn't funny. There's nothing in this that was really comical. It's just annoying. It's people being loud with each other and being obnoxious towards one another, and there's nothing really redeeming about any of it. By the time the movie was over, I was like, what was I supposed to get out of this other than girl dies, comes back to life, quirky zombie stuff starts happening in the town with no explanation and no payoff? And I don't know, I just don't have much more to say about this movie. I found it to be really irritating. I found all the character interactions to be annoying. There's nothing other than Aubrey Plaza's character, when she starts getting zombified, gets really strong and she just destroys things. I don't know, it's just not really well written. It's not, the characters aren't interesting. I don't know. I understand why this movie has really bad reviews. It's not a very good one, and I will not be revisiting this again. I'm pretty sure when I was looking at the rank list on my A24 list, this is like bottom 2 right now. It's just really bad, and I would not recommend it. So have you seen Life After Beth? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was awful. I did not enjoy anything about it, and having one of my favorite actresses, Aubrey Plaza, and one of my favorite actors, John C. Reilly, in this doing nothing, it was just really terrible. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.